அரசியல் சட்டத்தின் அடிப்படை பண்புகள் என்ன? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டெமோக்ரஸி, செகண்ட் செக்யூலரிசம், தேர்ட் ஈக்குவாலிட்டி, fourth federalism, fifth rule of law, sixth independent judiciary. These 3 points the constitution embodied, which cannot be altered at any point of time by the parliament. No doubt parliament is having power under the constitution amend the law, including the constitution. You know better, constitutional amendments are being coming often. That too in Modi government, constitutional amendments are very cheap. They can do anything because of the brutal majority. That is not democracy. Ambedkar said, what is meant by democracy? Democracy is not merely form of government alone. It is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards a fellow man. The last man should be revered. That too when the subcommittee for minorities was constituted under the constitution framing, when the constitutional debate took place in the Constitutional Assembly, there was a subcommittee for the minorities. That was headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the president of the minority subcommittee. Who are all the members? Pandit Nehru himself member, Rajendra Prasad himself member, Dr. Ambedkar himself member, then K.M. Munshi is member. 4 members, including the Prime Minister of India later, including the President of India later, including the Law Minister of India later, were the members where Sardar Patel was the chairman of the subcommittee. He moved a resolution. That resolution says what type of rights should be given to the minorities. All these things were contemplated. Then very important thing I said, national flag. Then coming to the aims of object clause. Before the constitution, a resolution was moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. That is very important. I think that 13/12/1946, if my memory is correct. Aims and object of the constitution was moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He moved. Then one Jayadar, you know, the national, very big constitutional expert, he opposed the resolution giving the amendment on the basis of, on the reason of, the Muslim League is not ready to take part in the Constitutional Assembly. Partition was not affected, 1946. So, when the Muslim League boycotted the constitutional provisions in the Constitutional Assembly, question arose before the Assembly, in the absence of Muslim League, in the absence of the representations from the Muslim League, whether the resolution can be passed or not. Everybody opposed. There was a chaos. Then Rajendra Prasad, the chairman, president of the assembly, called Dr. Ambedkar suddenly. Ambedkar, please guide us. The opening sentence of the Ambedkar itself on the resolution, because he was shocked. He was not supposed to speak on that day. He said immediately, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, I quote, Mr. Chairman, I am indeed very grateful to you for having called me to speak on the resolution. I must, however, confess that your invitation has come to me as a surprise. I thought that there was some 20 or 22 people ahead of me. My turn will come tomorrow or day after tomorrow. If it did come at all, would come tomorrow. I would have preferred that as today I have come without any preparation whatsoever. என்னென்ன 4 நாள் கழிச்சு கூப்பிடுங்க நினைச்சேன், நான் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன்லாம் வந்துட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவர் பேசியிருக்காரு பாருங்க. அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பேசியிருக்காரு. The lecture which was delivered on the day, சொல்லிட்டு இடையில சொல்றாரு, I know today we are divided politically, socially and economically. நாம் அரசியல் ரீதியாகவும் பொருளாதார ரீதியாகவும் சமூக ரீதியாகவும் பிரிந்து கிடக்கிறோம். We are a group of varying camps and I may go even to extent of confessing that I am probably one of the leaders of such camp. நமக்குள்ள பல குழுக்கள் சண்டை போட்டுட்டு இருக்கோம். அப்படி சண்டை போடுகிற குழுவுக்கு நானும் ஒரு குழுவுக்கு தலைவராக தான் இருக்கேன். ஏன்னா அவர் ஷெட்யூல் காஸ்ட் ரைட் கேட்குறாருல்ல, ஆர்எஸ்எஸ் இருக்குல்ல, இந்துக்கள் இருக்காங்கல்ல, முஸ்லீம் இருக்குல்ல, நமக்குள்ள சண்டை நிறையா இருக்குது. நோ டவுட் வி ஆர் ஹேவிங் அவர் ஓன் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட்ஸ். அப்படி போராடுற குழுவுக்கு நானும் தலைமையாக இருக்கேன். பட் சார், with all this I am quite convinced that given time and circumstances, nothing in the world prevent this country from becoming one and oneness. இதெல்லாத்துக்கும் பிறகு என்றாவது ஒரு நாள் இந்த தேசம் நாம் எல்லோரும் ஒன்றாக இந்தியர்களாக வருவோம் என்ற நம்பிக்கை இருக்கிறது. நீங்கள் கைத்தட்ட மாதிரி அங்கேயே கைத்தட்டிருக்காங்க. எங்கேயும் நிறுத்திக்கிறா சொல்லிட்டு அப்ப சொல்றார், our difficulty is not about the ultimate future. Our difficulty is how to make the heterogeneous mass that we have today take a decision in common and march on the way which leads to us unity. Our difficulty is not with regard to the ultimate, our difficulty is with regard to the beginning. இப்போ எப்படி தொடங்குறதா நமக்கு தெரியல. இவ்வளவு ஜாதி இருக்கு, இவ்வளவு மதம் இருக்கு, அரசியல் சட்டத்தை எப்படி எழுதுறது, இதெல்லாம் எப்படி அட்ரஸ் பண்றது, ஏகப்பட்ட பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, மைனாரிட்டிஸ் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவர் சொல்றார், so our difficulty is not with regard to the ultimate, our difficulty is with regard to the beginning. Mr. Chairman, therefore I should have thought that in order to make us willing friends, in order to induce every party, every section of this country to take on road, it would be an act of greatest statesmanship for the majority, even to make a concession to the prejudices of the people who are not prepared to march together. இந்த சுதந்திரத்துக்கு நம்மலாம் நடந்து போறோமே, இந்துக்களாக இருந்தாலும் மெஜாரிட்டி பீப்புளாக இருந்தாலும், இந்த மார்ச்சுக்கு வர முடியாத மார்ஜினைஸ் இருக்காங்கல்ல, யார் அவர் சொல்றது, இஸ்லாமியர்களை, தாழ்த்தப்பட்ட மக்களை, சுதந்திரம் போடுறதுக்குன்னா என்னன்னே தெரியாத ஒரு மக்கள் இருக்காங்கல்ல, அவங்கள நீங்க ரெகனைஸ் பண்ணலன்னா இந்த சுதந்திரம் நிற்காது. அப்ப சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. So when the minority resolution was placed before the Constituent Assembly, Ambedkar did a big role. When the national flag was placed before the Constituent Assembly, he took a very big role. Now I am coming for secularism. As I earlier said, that secularism is not in the Constitution, the preamble. K.T. Shah, one of the members in the Constituent Assembly, he raised a question that the words secular and socialist must be included in the preamble of the Constitution. Ambedkar vehemently denied. The reason is, he said, as far as socialism is concerned, we cannot dictate a country to be a socialist country. So what type of man he is? He said, the Indian economy cannot stand alone in one point of time. The economy may be universal. The global economy may change, under which India may be a part, for which I cannot dictate this country is a socialist country. This is true. Now we are in the globalization, liberalization. Why Modi is promoting everything? We are not able to stand with socialist country. He did foresee it may not be compulsion on the country to be a pure socialist country. Then he coming to secular. He said secular more than 7 places. I mentioned the Constitution is secular. Go for any profession. 25, Article 14, Article 15. A person should not be discriminated on the basis of the caste, on the basis of religion, on the basis of sex. What does it mean? Religious. A person is entitled to have their own practice under religious faith. Then it is really secular. So I did everything for secular. If you are putting a secular word, people may think why these people are so cautious. And I do foresee that such a bad elements will not come to politics to say this country is not secular. I should not be responsible for anything. Ambedkar said bad elements. So what I am telling you is each and everything, whether it is national flag, whether it is minorities' right, whether it is rights of scheduled caste, it is for reservation or future India, whatever be, the thoughts which has been rendered by Ambedkar still save this country in spite of the country has been placed with bad hands. We are fighting still before the people. No doubt, Vice President of India, a constitutional head, number 2 place in the Constitution, he said in the Speaker's Conference that the basic structure of the Constitution should be amended as against the case of the Bharati case. The larger bench, 13 judges, were categorical in 1972 itself. Parliament is entitled to amend the law on any time, any constitutional provisions, except basic structure of the Constitution. Now, Vice President of India, who took oath on the Constitution, vehemently said at official meeting that the basics of the Constitution should be amended. What does it mean? It should be not secular. So, such a dangerous days we are meeting. I do not know what type of courageous Madras University is having to hold this lecture. Because Ambedkar contribution for saying that it will be against the government. In spite of that, you have to speak about the truth. So, Ambedkar did see, yes, there were the fragmentations. on the basis of the caste, on the basis of the religion. In spite of that, he needs a strong India in which all resolution can be possible within the legal framework of the Constitution. Still people are having faith upon the Constitution. Everybody fighting against the state government, against the central government, even against all institutions. But still they are having faith under the Constitution. That is why still we are, to some extent we are little bit peace. However, I am little bit worried about the independent judiciary, which was the basic structure of the Constitution. As a lawyer, not I am speaking any politics, I said in the parliament itself, the Ayodhya verdict, which was given by the larger bench, the first time in India as a student of law, I said, a judgment was delivered in a crucial issues where the author of the judgment is not at all there. Suppose 5 people are sitting in the bench, there must be a name who wrote the judgment and remaining 4 should concur. If a judgment is unanimous out of the 5 benches, 5 judges, there must be author. This judgment was written by me, A.Raja. Then remaining 4 judges has to concur. That is a very big shock. No judge signed who written the judgment, but judgment came out. After 3 years, one of the judges said, God directed me to write it. The problem is, fight itself is between Allah and Ram. Both are God. Which God gave a direction to you? If Ram gave a direction to, what about the Allah? This is the independent judiciary. I am not attributing any motive to the judiciary. But what is real judiciary today? Whether Ambedkar did see all these things? So independent judiciary, rule of law, secularism, federalism. See what was done by our Honorable Chief Minister MKStalin? The governance power. First time, I think that the only Chief Minister in India who fought against the constitutional head of the state and got influence in our nation. Justice Patanjali was very famous in 1960s in the Supreme Court. He openly said, we are having every power discretionary under Article 142. If the law is not made by Parliament, we can make law also. Not mere interpreter of the Constitution. We can make law. What we are delivering judgment, it will become the law of this land. We are having such a discretionary power. That does not mean judges are having discretionary power. It does not mean that we are having power of a caveman. Discretion should not be caveman discretion. It should be a reasonable and plausible discretion. Today, the journey of the apex court and other high courts are really worrisome. Whether the constitutional provisions are being protected or obliterated, that is the question before the people. Day by day, little bit, the faith upon the judiciary is being dwindled down or diluted. So when we are celebrating Ambedkar and his constitutional framework and his contribution to the Constitution, we must keep in our mind that the basic structure of the Constitution, namely democracy, secularism, equality of law, federalism, independent judiciary, all these 6 points should be protected at any cost. To that point, towards that point, let us march towards Jai Bhim. Thank you.